Welcome to you. We are excited to present this webinar introducing the Diversity and Inclusion Toolkit on behalf of the National PTA. Joining us today are leaders from across the country. Thank you for taking the time to join us. This webinar will preview the new Diversity and Inclusion Toolkit, which will be unveiled at convention in June. The toolkit is designed to help PTA affiliates at all levels of the association, local, council, district, and state, to start or enhance their diversity efforts in order to increase PTA inclusion and engagement of families and communities. The toolkit will be available on the National PTA website and as a print package. I'd like to introduce our speakers. From the Diversity and Inclusion Toolkit Subcommittee, I'm Mike Dimich. I'm chair of the Diversity Committee.
Hi, I'm Patty Soderin. I've served on the National PTA Board and on the Diversity Committee, and I'm very happy to be part of the Toolkit Subcommittee.
Hi, my name is Endon Irick, and I have served on the National Diversity Committee for the past couple of years, which I'm really happy and honored to have been a part of such a great committee. Prior to coming to that committee, I've served many years working on diversity initiatives and training from a corporate perspective. I also was involved with the Illinois PTA, but I have subsequently relocated to Florida, and I look forward to getting involved in those initiatives in the state of Florida. Thank you.
From the Webinar and Convention Committee, I'd like to introduce.
My name is Sharon Goldblatt, and I've served at all levels of PTA for more than 25 years. I'm a former president of Texas PTA and a former National PTA board member. I have served on numerous committees for National PTA, and I began serving on the Diversity Committee in 2013.
Our third subcommittee member is Ronalda Warito Tomei. She was unable to join us for the webinar.
From the National PTA Staff Liaison, our staff members are Armin Alvarez and Alida Perez-Knapp.
Let's start by talking about our PTA commitments to diversity and inclusion. PTA's commitment to diversity means valuing all kinds of differences at all levels of our association. As a membership organization, it's critical to empower all of our PTA members. Our commitment to inclusion means advancing the well-being of all children and youth. We believe that when all aspects of our communities are represented and all voices can be heard, PTA will be an effective voice for all children. We've created this toolkit to provide resources to assist you with inclusive practices for growing your membership, with strategies to engage increasingly diverse families, and with ideas for productive collaborations throughout your communities. Looking forward, we can predict that the PTA will be increasingly diverse across a broad spectrum of differences. It's easy to see this when you look at demographic projections from the U.S. Census, here presented in a table from the Pew Research Center. Nationally, public school enrollments have become what is called majority-minority, and that means that our PTA families are equally diverse. Our own PTA statistics indicate that state boards are becoming more diverse, just like the populations they represent. We've seen an increase in participation among some groups that haven't been as active in the past. This includes ethnic and racial minority members, and it also includes men. Plus, half of our state leadership is under 46. The 2013-2015 Diversity Committee is responsible for the toolkit, so I'd like to introduce you to the members. You've already met Mike, who chairs the committee, as well as Endon, Sharon, me, and Ronalda. You've also met our talented staff liaisons, Armin and Alida. Our committee also includes Sid Cox, Bernie Kemp, Mari Pokanowski, and Sunny Savoy. All these dedicated committee members are very excited about sharing the toolkit with you. The toolkit was designed with input from PTA state and regional leaders. In November and December 2014, we reached out to you with a survey asking about your challenges and needs. We received responses from 353 leaders representing every state. You told us that your biggest challenges are making PTA relevant to each and every family, and engaging all PTA members, especially when there are languages other than English and class or cultural differences.
As you can see, the toolkit content is aimed at providing you with useful, readily adaptable materials that address your needs. There are 8 sections of the toolkit, and each one has a number of resources in it that we think will help you meet many of the needs and challenges you told us about. For example, many sections include excellent PowerPoint presentations or workshops. All of these include script suggestions to help you deliver an effective message. We're going to walk you through what is in each section. Key takeaways. Whether you are just getting started or a seasoned PTA leader, the toolkit offers guidelines for getting your diversity plans off the ground and ideas to keep you motivated and moving forward. Key takeaways outline the basic elements of a PTA Diversity Committee's work. For each of these elements, the toolkit provides additional ideas and resources for you to adapt to your particular needs. The National PTA Diversity and Inclusion Policy is the basic for similar policies adopted by state PTAs. We include the policy here so that you can refer to it as you frame your own initiatives. You will also find the 2015 National Service Representative Presentation on Diversity and Multiculturalism. This excellent interactive presentation includes the Diversity and Inclusion Worksheet and a very useful survey for families, the Power of Partnerships Family Survey. Using these tools will help your PTA learn more about what matters to the families in your areas and how to reach out to them. We have included a section that brings best practices and information from PTA affiliates and other diversity organizations around the country. These proven techniques can enhance your current diversity initiatives and provide new and exciting practices to further develop your program. We have received requests for information about reaching out to immigrant children and families, and we are pleased to include a presentation on that topic. That presentation is called Engaging Immigrant and Refugee Families in the School, and is by Lynn Moreland. She is an education professor and social services expert, and it includes current information about best practices for supporting these children and their families. We also included 2 workshops. The first one is Building and Working with Communities, which is based on materials from Northwestern University that helps groups reach out to local community groups and organizations in order to develop productive partnerships. It uses breakout groups to engage participants in exercises like neighborhood mind maps and personal action plans. The second workshop is on collaborative leadership, which was developed by an earlier PTA Diversity Committee to encourage leadership practices and styles that can be truly inclusive. It would also help you determine if this approach will work for you. Both of these workshops include handouts and worksheets so that you can effectively adapt them to your needs. The Emerging Minority Leaders Conference has been a signature event for the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, and many states hold their own EML conferences. This section of the toolkit includes a comprehensive guide to having a successful conference from initial planning all the way to follow-up assessments. Along with the guide, you'll find sample budgets, a sample speaker agreement, a training request form, a conference development timeline, templates for promotion, and press releases. Whether you have done an EML conference before or are contemplating one in the future, these materials can be invaluable in ensuring your success. In the future, this section would also include a schedule of state EML conferences updated annually and an introduction to outstanding alums from our EML conferences who have taken up PTA leadership roles.
On this slide, you see PT state affiliates are required to adopt a written diversity and inclusion policy and plan. We recommend each state also have a diversity chair as a board position. This critical role highlights the importance of diversity and inclusion in all of PTA's activities. coordinates initiatives around the state, and serves as a source for information and connection to other resources and diversity organizations. In this section, we describe this role by providing answers to frequently asked questions about PTA diversity initiatives and the role of the diversity chair. A sample of the questions are on this slide. Given the changing demographics of the children and families that we serve, multicultural membership growth is a priority for PTA. In this section, the toolkit includes strategies for communicating with a variety of non-traditional audiences, including racial, ethnic families, male participants, special needs families, and rural communities. How to engage non-traditional audiences is full of easy-to-use tips and links to national PTA programs and resources. As with other toolkit workshops, Building Today's PTA, Recruiting Today's Family, includes an interactive format with expert advice, a handout for developing a membership plan, and a sample membership survey that can be adapted to particular needs. The PowerPoint slides, Building Your Child's Tomorrow in Today's PTA, is directed to non-traditional audience and makes a strong case for why PTA is relevant to the needs and concerns of all families. If you're looking for a way to make the case for PTA, this is an invaluable presentation. Great things are happening in our PTA affiliates across the country. In this section, the toolkit includes a sampling of PTA's best practices from our PTA Signature Programs, including the Jan Harpton Mini Award winners and the Urban Family Engagement Network. The Jan Harpton Mini Contest is sponsored by the Diversity Committee. The submissions and award winners demonstrate how innovative and creative our local and state affiliates are. We are very proud to present the programs that exemplify our PTA best practices in diversity and inclusion. The contest application requests a portrait of inclusion and diversity integrated into every aspect of a PTA affiliate, from the board and the membership to the programs and community partnerships. The application requests narratives about what these PTAs do to eliminate bias and misunderstanding, to create collaborative partnerships, to deliver educative programs that value differences, and to assess effectiveness. The Urban Family Engagement Network includes teams from around the country at various stages of this four-stage process of family-school partnerships in urban areas. We include brochures both in English and Spanish that condense the aims and strategies of this expanding network. You will find these models practices extremely helpful in developing your own best practices. As you can see, this section also includes links to national PTA resources. They are accessible online, but are also included in our print toolkit.
Please join us at convention on Saturday morning, June 27th, for the Jan Harpton Mini Diversity and Inclusion Award Breakfast. This will be a ticketed event where you'll be able to network with other PTA leaders who are passionate about diversity and learn about successful best practices being used across the nation. As a special gift, each attendee will receive a copy of this toolkit. This event is open to all convention attendees. Look for information on the convention registration page. This toolkit is an ongoing project. While it will be launched at convention on the PTA website, the Diversity Committee will continue to update it and add to the resources as one of our top priorities. We want to hear from you. We invite you to help us make this useful and appealing for PTA affiliates at all levels and in all locations. Use the email address on your screen to let us know what you like about the toolkit, what you would like to see added as information and resources, and what you can share with us as your own best practices. How many people do you need to successfully start a diversity committee? Endon, would you answer this question, please?
Thank you, Sharon. That's a great question. How many people do you need to successfully start a diversity committee? Well, it's probably fewer than most people realize. If you have 3 or 4 committed people, you're off to a great start in trying to develop a diversity committee. You need individuals who are committed and who have the time initially. It's a lot of work up front in trying to come together, come up with goals and a vision and a budget, and be able to communicate that to individuals to get momentum and to develop and grow your committee. But if you have individuals who maybe have 5 to 10 hours a week starting off, ideally that time should minimize as others come on board and you delegate tasks. But people who are passionate about making a difference in their community and in the lives of children, ideally it's nice to have people with different backgrounds so they can bring their unique perspectives and their ideas to come together as the group and committee tries to serve that community. And not all of the individuals have to have leadership experience starting off. You need individuals who are willing to work hard and who can influence others as well, so that as the diversity committee grows and matures, everyone is contributing and you have a really cohesive team.
A follow-up question, Endon. What type of people should I recruit?
The type of people that you should recruit is very important when starting off a new diversity committee. Oftentimes, when starting something new, we just ask people that we know, or we're just happy to have anyone come on board because we have people who can help. Well, that is one method, but I think there are some key positions or some key skill sets that are needed. Ideally, you want someone with leadership experience. Someone needs to, drive the boat. Someone needs to be able to talk to other leaders or be comfortable when getting up in front of people and talking or making decisions or just having to influence others. So having a leader or someone with leadership skills is key. Also having someone with administration skills, an admin person who can schedule the meetings, who can take the minutes, who could send out correspondence, whatever is needed from an admin perspective. Having someone with communication skills is also very helpful. You will need an individual who can send out emails or communications, whether through the print or through PR or other different channels. Having someone with that experience or PR experience is very helpful. And if this individual has experience with social media, that's a plus. Ideally, you may want to set up a Facebook page or a Twitter account, and there's other social media channels that a communication person can use to get the word out and get people involved and engaged. The last position I would say that would be helpful is someone with financial background. You will absolutely be dealing with budgets. You will have expenses. When you have events and fundraisers, having someone who can just manage the money and cash flow and keep up with a budget is going to be important. And then, of course, as the committee matures, other roles will come into play. But again, I would say those are probably 4 key roles to get started.
Will there be other opportunities to get a printed copy of the toolkit?
As we've mentioned, everybody who attends the Diversity and Inclusion Breakfast at Convention will receive a printed copy of the toolkit. After that, the toolkit will be available for download on the PTA website. So just go to the PTA website and download it, and you can print it out from there.
Mike, if you'll answer this one, are there plans for a Spanish version of the toolkit?
Will it be available in Spanish? The answer is yes. We are looking at other languages as well, but Spanish will be available at first.
A follow-up question, Mike. Spanish is not the only language our state needs. Is there a possibility to translate into any other languages?
One of the suggestions we've come up with is states could partner with Title I offices and other nonprofit organizations that can help work in collaboration with PTA in offering translating services.
This is a question for you, Patty. How often will new content be added?
The Toolkit's a priority project for the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, so new content will be added periodically. We've already identified some new content we'd like to add, like the Emerging Minority Leaders Conference schedule. But in addition, we want to be responsive to your suggestions for what content would be useful for you. And we'd also like to include best practices from the affiliates. So I think the Toolkit can be seen as a responsive and developing resource going forward.
Is the Diversity and Inclusion Breakfast event at National PTA Convention open to anyone? The breakfast is open to anyone, but seating is limited. We have reached out to all state presidents to designate a person from each state. Those attendees may attend at no charge, but anyone else may attend for the price of $27 per person.
This concludes our webinar. We hope it was informative and productive. Thank you for participating, and remember, we're available to assist you in your diversity efforts, whether it be our 800 number or our diversity@pta.org website. Good night, and thank you for your time.